You have carried the weight of your past for long enough. That burden, those stories, those old beliefs about who you are and what you can do has shaped your every step. But who you were yesterday is not who you are today, and it certainly is not who you are destined to become. The past does not define you. It simply doesn't. It's a collection of experiences, yes, but not a blueprint for the future. And yet, so many of us live as though our past mistakes, failures, and disappointments are permanent markers of our identity. We treat our history as a sentence we must serve, believing that the person we were 5, 10, or 20 years ago has a stranglehold on the person we're supposed to be today. It's easy to fall into this trap. The mind craves comfort and certainty. It wants to understand why you are the way you are, why life has played out the way it has, and why things didn't turn out the way you hoped. So you cling to the past. You replay the mistakes. You recycle the doubts. You let those old identities form the limits of who you believe you are capable of becoming. But here's the first hard truth. The person you were yesterday is not the person you must be tomorrow. What would happen if you stopped clinging to the stories you've been telling yourself about your limitations? What if you stopped letting your past mistakes and perceived failures define your future? What if you started to believe that you too have the power to change, to evolve, to become someone greater than you've ever been before? There is a power within you, a force greater than the sum of all your past choices and experiences. But to access it, you must be willing to let go of everything that no longer serves you. You must be willing to let go of the person who is afraid to fail, the person who's afraid to take risks, the person who's afraid of what lies beyond the comfort zone. This is where true transformation begins, not when you finally achieve success, not when you finally make it, but when you decide that who you were is no longer who you choose to be. You are not your failures. You are not your past. You are the person who has the power to start anew, to step boldly into a future of limitless potential. But let's be clear, shedding the old identity isn't easy. It requires you to face fear, to confront the parts of yourself you'd rather leave hidden in the shadows. It demands that you question every belief you've held about yourself, every lie that's kept you safe but stagnant. It calls you to step away from the stories that have shaped your narrative until now and rewrite that story entirely. If you look at history's greatest figures, those who have accomplished extraordinary feats, you'll see something they all had in common. They didn't cling to the past. They didn't live in the shadows of their failures. They did not allow their mistakes to imprison them. In fact, many of them failed again and again before they ever succeeded. Think about Thomas Edison, the man who is credited with inventing the light bulb. He didn't succeed the first time, or the second, or the third, or the 100th. In fact, Edison failed more times than most people could even imagine. And yet, when he was asked about his failures, he didn't see them as setbacks. He didn't see them as evidence of his inability to succeed. He saw them as lessons, pieces of knowledge that led him closer and closer to the breakthrough he needed. I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work, Edison famously said. His failures were not proof that he was destined for mediocrity. They were stepping stones on the way to greatness. But here's the key. Edison didn't let his past failures define him. He let them propel him forward. The same is true for countless others who have changed the course of history. Think about the life of Walt Disney, one of the most creative and innovative minds of the 20th century. Disney was told no so many times, rejected by countless investors and mocked for his dreams. But he didn't stop. He didn't allow the rejections, the doubts, or the criticism to dictate who he would become. He embraced failure. He used it as fuel. He let go of the notion that rejection meant he wasn't good enough. Instead, he used every rejection as a stepping stone toward his vision. And what did he build? Disney created an empire that continues to inspire, educate, and entertain millions around the world. His life is proof that when you let go of the old version of yourself, the version that is limited by fear and failure, you make space for the new version, the one capable of achieving greatness. But here's the important thing for you to understand. These individuals didn't just succeed because they were great. They succeeded because they were willing to let go of their old selves, to release the old identities, the old failures, and the old narratives that others tried to impose on them. They didn't allow the world's limitations to become their own, and neither should you. You are not the person who failed yesterday. You are not the person who doubted, the person who was afraid, the person who hesitated. You are the person who has the power to create a new future. But you cannot build that future if you are still holding on to the past. You cannot walk into the unknown while looking behind. You cannot embrace the new while holding tightly to the old. It's time to let go. But what does that look like in practice? What does it actually mean to let go of your old self? It means releasing the self-doubt that has held you back. It means no longer defining yourself by your past mistakes or failures. It means choosing to believe that you are worthy of success, that you are capable of building a life of your own design. It means choosing to step into the unknown and trusting that the universe will provide the opportunities you need, even if you can't see them yet. But here's the challenge. Letting go of the old isn't just about releasing fear. It's also about letting go of the comfort zone. You can't build a new version of yourself if you're unwilling to step into the unknown. You can't create a new future while living in the safety of your past decisions. The comfort zone is a prison. It is the place where dreams go to die. It's where you settle for less than what you deserve. It's where you stay the same, year after year, telling yourself that things will change when in fact, nothing will change until you do. The new version of you, the version who is confident, powerful, and capable, can't exist inside the comfort zone. It's too small for that kind of growth. It's time to get uncomfortable. It's time to challenge the status quo. It's time to push past the fears, the doubts, and the limits you've placed on yourself. If you want to build something new, you must first shed the old. You must release the limitations, the doubts, and the excuses that have kept you trapped in the same cycle. And once you do, once you let go of everything that no longer serves you, you will finally be free to build the life you were always meant to live. You have the power to change, to become someone greater than you've ever been before. But that transformation demands an essential first step, the willingness to confront yourself, to stand in front of your own reflection and ask, who am I truly? Not just the person who's been defined by external circumstances, not just the one who's been molded by the trials of life, but the person who exists at the core of your being, the person you were meant to be. That person is not an accident. That person was not simply born out of chance or circumstance. They exist within you as a dormant seed, waiting to be nurtured, waiting to rise and break through the soil. But like any seed, it cannot grow unless you create the right environment. You cannot build something new unless you clear away the old. Transformation starts with clarity. Clarity is a rare and precious gift in a world that thrives on distraction, noise, and confusion. So many people spend their entire lives reacting to the world around them, caught up in the chaos, never taking the time to truly know themselves. But clarity, true clarity, is a light that cuts through the fog of self-doubt. It is the foundation of every lasting change. Without it you will be lost, wandering from one goal to the next, trying and failing, hoping that something will stick. But nothing will stick until you decide what you really want. You cannot build a new life unless you have a clear vision of what that life looks like. And that's where most people fall short. They talk about change, they wish for something better, but they never define it. They allow the world to decide for them. They get caught up in the expectations of others, in the rules and conventions that society has imposed. But this isn't your life, it's theirs. What do you want? Not what your parents want for you, not what your friends expect from you, not what society says you should want. What do you want for yourself? What is the life that you are willing to fight for, to work for, to sacrifice for? The truth is, if you can't answer that question with absolute certainty, you're already living someone else's version of your life. And the worst part, you're the one who allowed it. Clarity is the first step in releasing the old, in letting go of the person who has been drifting aimlessly, reacting to life instead of shaping it. It's the first step in moving from a life of passivity to a life of purpose. Without clarity, you are like a ship with no rudder, drifting wherever the tide takes you. And if you continue to let life push you around, you'll never build anything meaningful. Purpose is the engine of transformation. Purpose is the force that drives you forward, that compels you to rise every morning, that gives you the strength to push through obstacles, and the discipline to stay on course when distractions arise. Without it, you are just existing. Purpose gives every decision meaning. It breathes life into your goals, your dreams, your actions. You see, purpose is what separates the successful from the unsuccessful. The world is full of people who dream big but never follow through, people who wish for change but never take action, and the reason for that is simple. They lack purpose. Without purpose, there's nothing strong enough to pull them forward when times get tough. Without purpose, every failure feels like the end of the road. But with purpose, failure becomes nothing more than a lesson, an opportunity to learn, adapt, and grow. Purpose empowers you to see setbacks, not as roadblocks but as stepping stones, each one building on the last. When you know exactly why you're doing something, when you can tap into the deep sense of meaning behind your actions, everything changes. It's no longer about trying to get ahead or achieve success. It's about living with intention, about creating a life that reflects who you are and what you truly stand for. So ask yourself again, what is your purpose? What drives you? What is the legacy you want to leave behind? When you have clarity about your purpose, you are unstoppable. It's a force that will carry you through the darkest of times, through the moments when everything seems to be falling apart. But it's also a force that will propel you forward when you're on top of the world, ensuring that you never lose sight of the greater vision you're building. Once you have clarity and purpose, the next step is discipline. Discipline is the bridge between where you are now and where you want to be. Without it, even the clearest vision, the deepest purpose, and the most intense passion will remain a distant dream. Discipline is what forces you to take consistent action, even when you don't feel like it. It's what allows you to stay focused on your goals, no matter how many distractions come your way. Too many people think that success is about talent or luck. They think that the people who make it were just born with some magic gift, or were simply in the right place at the right time. But the truth is that the difference between success and failure is rarely talent. It's discipline. It's the ability to do what needs to be done, day in and day out, even when you don't feel like it. It's the willingness to sacrifice short-term comfort for long-term gain. Discipline is what allows you to push through when everyone else quits. It's what makes you get up early, stay up late, and keep going when your body and mind are screaming for rest. It's what separates the dreamers from the doers, and it's what will transform your vision into reality. But discipline is not just about hard work. It's about smart work. It's about staying focused on the right things, the things that matter. It's about avoiding the traps of busyness and choosing instead to put your energy where it will have the greatest impact. It's about prioritizing the tasks that move you closer to your goals and saying no to everything else. Discipline requires you to make decisions every single day about how you spend your time, your energy, and your resources. It requires you to show up consistently, to keep the promises you make to yourself, and to hold yourself accountable, even when no one else is watching. If you're serious about building the new you, discipline is non-negotiable. But discipline alone is not enough. The next key element to creating a new version of yourself is action. You can have all the clarity, purpose, and discipline in the world, but without action, nothing will change. Action is the force that turns thoughts into reality, that turns plans into results. It's the driving force behind every great accomplishment, every innovation, every success story. Action is the single most important factor that separates those who talk about success from those who achieve it. It's easy to get caught up in planning, in strategizing, in thinking about all the things you need to do, but the truth is that all the planning in the world won't matter unless you take that first step. That's where most people get stuck. They plan, they prepare, they wait for the perfect moment that never comes, and they end up paralyzed by indecision. The key to overcoming this is simple. Just start. Start small if you must, but start. Action breeds momentum. The more you act, the more you learn. The more you learn, the more you improve. And the more you improve, the more confident you become. Eventually, what once seemed impossible becomes routine, and what once felt out of reach becomes achievable. So whatever you've been putting off, whatever dream has been waiting in the wings, it's time to take action. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for the stars to allow. Just take the next step. Action creates change. It's that simple. But even as you take action, you will face challenges. The path to transformation is not linear. It's filled with obstacles, setbacks, and moments of doubt. And when those moments come, and they will come, you will need one final quality to keep moving forward: resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity, to get up every time life knocks you down. It's what allows you to keep going when things get tough, when the odds are stacked against you, when you feel like quitting. Resilience is the ability to stay grounded in your purpose, no matter how many storms try to tear you apart. But resilience doesn't come naturally. It's built. It's developed through every challenge you face, every setback you endure, and every moment of doubt that you push through. The more you endure, the stronger you become. The more you persevere, the more you discover the depth of your inner strength. And when you look back, when you see how far you've come, you'll realize that every struggle, every painful moment was just another opportunity to build your resilience, to fortify your mind, and to prepare you for the greatness that awaits. There's a moment in every transformation, a defining moment, when you realize that you are no longer who you used to be. You look in the mirror, and the person staring back at you is someone new, someone who is capable, someone who is unstoppable. But how do you get to that point? How do you bridge the gap between who you were and who you are becoming? It's not enough to just shed the old habits or the old identity. No, there's more to this process, much more. It's about the relentless pursuit of becoming the version of yourself that you've always known was within you. It's about becoming your best self, the one who rises above fear, doubt, and limitation. But to do that, you must first understand what stands in your way. It's not just external obstacles that keep us from transforming. It's the internal narrative, the voice inside your head that whispers, "Who do you think you are?" or "This is too hard." The beliefs you hold about what's possible and what's not. It's the self-sabotage that creeps in when success feels too big to handle, or when you're on the verge of a breakthrough. But here's the truth. Your mind is not your enemy. Your thoughts are just that, thoughts. They do not define you, unless you allow them to. And most of the time, the thoughts that hold you back are not even your own. They are inherited from society, from people around you, from the media, from past experiences. They are conditioned beliefs that have been placed inside your mind by forces outside of your control, and they are waiting to be dismantled. This is where mindset comes in. Your mindset is the lens through which you view the world. It shapes your perception of reality and, in turn, your actions. If you believe that success is reserved for a select few, if you see challenges as insurmountable obstacles, then that's exactly how your life will unfold. But if you adopt a mindset that sees possibility in every challenge, opportunity in every setback, and growth in every failure, the world will open up to you in ways you never imagined. Take Nelson Mandela, for instance, a man who spent 27 years in prison for fighting against apartheid. Yet when he was released, he didn't harbor hatred, bitterness, or resentment. He didn't cling to the idea that the world owed him something for all the years he had lost. Instead, he emerged as the mindset of reconciliation, ready to unite a nation. He understood that your mindset shapes your reality, and that no matter what circumstances you find yourself in, you always have the power to choose how you respond. Mandela's story is proof that you are not defined by your past or your circumstances. You are defined by how you choose to think, how you choose to respond to adversity, and how you choose to move forward, even when the world tells you it's impossible. The next key principle to embrace as you build the new version of yourself is vision. Vision is the ability to see beyond your present circumstance, to look into the future and imagine the person you are becoming, the life you are creating. It's what fuels your ambition. It's what drives you to wake up each day with purpose and energy, even when the days feel long and the obstacles feel heavy. Without vision, you are lost. You have no direction, no sense of where you're going or why. Think about the great innovators of history, those whose names have become synonymous with forward thinking and progress. Steve Jobs, for example, was not content with the world as it was. He saw a future where technology would seamlessly blend with human life, where people would carry powerful computers in their pockets, and where the limits of what technology could do would be pushed beyond imagination. His vision of a connected world led to the creation of Apple, an empire that changed the way we communicate, work, and live. But vision isn't just about imagining what could be. It's about feeling it. It's about creating it. It's about creating a mental image so vivid, so real, that it becomes your driving force. When you have a clear vision, you don't need to see the entire path laid out in front of you. All you need is the next step. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to know what you're working toward. That's what vision does. It gives you direction. It's the North Star that guides you through the storm, the constant reminder of why you're doing what you're doing. But here's the thing about vision. It's not static. It evolves. It grows with you as you expand, as you challenge yourself, as you step out of your comfort zone. Your vision will shift. What once seemed impossible will begin to feel like an achievable goal, and new aspirations will take its place. Your vision is not fixed. Just like you, it's a living, breathing entity that will constantly transform and adapt to the person you are becoming. Embrace that. Now that you have the mindset and the vision, you must take action. And not just any action. You need focused action. Focused action is about identifying the specific steps you need to take to move closer to your vision. It's about knowing that success is the sum of small, consistent efforts, compounded over time. Most people fail because they think success comes from a single breakthrough, a moment of genius. But success is not a singular event. It's the result of focused daily action. It's about committing to a process, even when results are not immediate. Maya Angelou is a perfect example of this. The renowned poet, author, and activist did not wake up one day to fame and fortune. She spent years honing her craft, writing, speaking, and sharing her voice, long before the world recognized her brilliance. Her success wasn't about a one-time breakthrough. It was the culmination of a lifetime of focused action, of consistently showing up and doing the work, even when it seemed like nothing was happening. Focused action is about the discipline to do the work, even when it's hard, even when you can't see the outcome, even when you're not getting the immediate results you desire. This is the key to unlocking your potential and building something truly extraordinary. But here's the catch. You can take all the focused action you want, but if you don't have adaptability, you will hit a wall. Adaptability is your ability to adjust and pivot when life doesn't go according to plan. It's your ability to accept that the road to success is rarely straight and never predictable. Look at Oprah Winfrey, one of the most influential women in the world. Before she became a media mogul, Oprah was fired from her job as a news anchor because she was deemed unfit for television. If she had allowed that setback to define her, she would never have gone on to create the empire that is now her legacy. But Oprah is not defined by her past failures. She is defined by her adaptability. She embraced every challenge, every criticism, and every failure as an opportunity to learn and grow. She didn't give up. She adjusted. And in doing so, she created a career that transcended the limits that others tried to place on her. Adaptability is about accepting that failure is not a reflection of your worth. It's about understanding that the universe doesn't always give us what we expect, but it always gives us what we need to grow. The most successful people in the world are those who can adapt, who can learn from their mistakes, and pivot when necessary. They are the ones who are constantly evolving, constantly refining, and constantly improving. So as you build the new you, remember it's not about perfection. It's about progress. It's about getting better every single day. It's about learning from your failures, embracing the changes that come your way, and staying committed to the vision of who you are becoming. The final ingredient in this transformation is gratitude. Gratitude is the secret sauce of success. It's the mindset that keeps you grounded, that keeps you from getting lost in the pursuit of more and more. It's about appreciating how far you've come, even when you're not yet where you want to be. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you don't have to what you already do. And when you focus on the abundance in your life, you attract even more of it. Think about the most successful people you know. What sets them apart? It's often their ability to find joy in the journey, to appreciate the small wins, to be grateful for the lessons learned along the way. Gratitude doesn't just make you feel good. It opens the doors to even greater success. It makes you more resilient, more adaptable, and more likely to take the right actions at the right time. There comes a moment in every person's life when they are faced with a choice: continue down the path that is familiar but limiting, or step into the unknown where the possibilities are endless. It's a decision that often comes with fear, doubt, and uncertainty, but it's also the moment when transformation truly begins. Transformation isn't just about thinking differently or doing things differently. It's about becoming someone new. It's about reshaping your identity, shedding the old version of yourself, and stepping into a more powerful, more authentic version of who you were always meant to be. But this process doesn't happen overnight. It requires a willingness to confront your limitations head on, to face the stories you've been telling yourself about who you are and who you can be. It requires the courage to let go of the old identity that has been holding you back. And perhaps most importantly, it demands that you take full ownership of your future. Ownership is the key to the entire process of personal transformation. So many people live in a state of victimhood, blaming external circumstances for their lack of progress. They point to the economy, to their upbringing, to the people around them, to the opportunities they never had. But here's the truth. Victimhood is a trap. It's a prison that holds you in place, preventing you from stepping into your true power. To transform, you must break free from the chains of victimhood. You must take full responsibility for your life, for your actions, and for your results. The past does not define you unless you allow it to. The mistakes you made, the failures you experienced, they are not permanent. They are part of your journey, but they do not control your destiny. You are the author of your own story. It's time to stop letting other people, situations, or past experiences dictate who you become. You have the power to choose your path. And that choice is made through the way you think, the actions you take, and the decisions you make every single day. Taking ownership doesn't mean that you will never encounter challenges. Far from it, it means that, no matter what happens, you recognize that you are in control of how you respond. It means that you refuse to let obstacles define you. Instead, you see them as opportunities for growth and learning. It's easy to look at successful people and assume that they've been lucky, that their lives have been easier or more privileged. But the truth is that success is not a matter of luck. It's a matter of choice. You don't need to have the perfect circumstances to create the life you want. You just need the right mindset and the willingness to take ownership of your decisions. Let's talk about emotional intelligence for a moment. Emotional intelligence, or EQ, is the ability to understand, manage, and utilize your emotions in a positive and productive way. It's the ability to stay calm under pressure, to navigate challenges without losing control, and to make decisions based on logic rather than being swayed by impulsive feelings. Many people go through life without ever learning how to master their emotions. They let their feelings dictate their actions, and as a result, they find themselves reacting to the world instead of shaping it. But emotional mastery is one of the most powerful skills you can develop as you embark on the journey of transformation. Tony Robbins, the world-renowned motivational speaker, talks about how mastering emotions is the key to achieving peak performance. He says that those who can control their emotional state can influence their thoughts and behaviors, and in turn control their actions. In other words, emotions are the fuel that drive your actions. And if you don't manage your emotional state, you will always be at the mercy of your feelings instead of having your feelings work for you. Imagine you are faced with a challenging situation. Perhaps you've just received bad news or you've encountered an obstacle that seems insurmountable. The way you respond in that moment can either propel you forward or hold you back. If you allow your emotions to control you, you'll react in a way that keeps you stuck. But if you manage your emotions, if you choose to stay calm and focused, then you can make a rational decision that moves you toward a solution. Emotional intelligence is about being aware of your feelings, acknowledging them, but not letting them control you. It's about learning how to redirect your emotions in a productive way, and using that emotional energy to fuel positive action. Another key component of transformation is faith. Not necessarily religious faith, although that can certainly be a part of it, but faith in yourself, faith that you can overcome any challenge, that you are capable of achieving your goals, and that you can create the life you desire. This type of faith is not something you are born with. It's something you develop over time through experience, through pushing through adversity, and through consistently proving to yourself that you can rise above any setback. Henry Ford had an unwavering faith in his vision, even when everyone around him thought he was crazy. When he was first creating the automobile, many doubted whether a car could ever be a viable mode of transportation, but Ford believed in his vision with every fiber of his being, and it was that belief along with his ability to take consistent action that changed the world. Faith is the backbone of every breakthrough. It's the force that pushes you forward when the odds seem insurmountable. And while faith alone is not enough, without it you will never have the courage to act. You need to believe in yourself, in your vision, and in your ability to transform your reality. With faith comes courage, the courage to take risks, to step into the unknown, to do things that scare you. Transformation requires you to get comfortable with discomfort. It requires you to challenge yourself in ways you never thought possible. And while it's normal to feel fear, it's important to understand that courage is not the absence of fear, it's the willingness to take action despite fear. Fear is a natural part of the transformation process. It's a sign that you are stepping outside your comfort zone, and that's where growth happens. But the more you face your fear, the more you learn to move through it. The more you prove to yourself that you can take bold action in the face of fear, the more courageous you become. Think about Amelia Earhart, one of the most famous female aviators in history. She became the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean, a feat that many people thought was impossible for anyone, let alone a woman. But she had the courage to push through her fears, to take the leap into the unknown, and in doing so she became a pioneer in aviation. Her courage wasn't about a lack of fear, it was about choosing to act despite it. Now, as you continue to build the new version of yourself, you must also embrace the importance of relationships. The people you surround yourself with will have a profound impact on your transformation. The relationships you nurture can either elevate you or hold you back. You must choose to surround yourself with people who support your vision, who challenge you to grow, and who encourage you to be the best version of yourself. Jim Rohn, the renowned entrepreneur and motivational speaker, famously said, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." Your relationships are like mirrors. They reflect back to you who you are, what you believe, and what you're capable of. If you surround yourself with people who are negative, complacent, or unsupportive, it will be much harder to elevate yourself. But if you surround yourself with people who inspire you, who push you to be better, you will inevitably rise to meet their expectations. But relationships are not just about what others can do for you, they are about what you can give to others. As you transform, you will have the opportunity to lift others up along the way. True success is not about hoarding your knowledge, your resources, or your successes. It's about using your growth to serve those around you. Finally, as you continue your journey of transformation, always remember to celebrate your progress. In a world that's always focused on what's next, it's easy to overlook how far you've come. But transformation is not just about the destination, it's about the journey. It's about recognizing the small victories, the breakthroughs, the moments of growth that occur every day. Celebrate those moments, because they are the building blocks of your success. When you look back, you'll realize that the greatest transformation wasn't just in your outer circumstances, it was in the way you saw the world, the way you thought about yourself, and the way you approached life. You built a new you, and in doing so you changed everything. The world is full of opportunities, yet most people walk through life unaware of their own potential. It's as if they're asleep, living out the same patterns day in and day out, never realizing that the keys to unlock their greatness are within their reach. This is the truth. You have been conditioned to live below your potential. It's not that you lack the capacity to create extraordinary things. It's that you've been taught to think small, to play it safe, to stay within the confines of what you know. But true transformation requires you to break free from those limitations, to transcend the boundaries you've placed on yourself, and to step into the life you were always meant to lead. This is not just a motivational speech. It's a call to action. You are being invited to step up, to let go of the old and to build the new you, the person who is bold, unafraid, and ready to take on the world. But before you can make this leap, there's one final principle that will serve as the cornerstone of your transformation purpose. Purpose is the North Star of your journey. It is the one thing that will keep you grounded when the road gets tough, that will fuel you when the days feel long, and that will give you the strength to keep going when everything else seems to be falling apart. Without purpose, you are simply wandering. You're moving, but you're not going anywhere. Purpose is what makes life meaningful. It's what drives you to wake up in the morning and put in the work, even when no one is watching. It's the reason you get out of bed day after day, no matter how difficult things get. Without purpose, life is like a boat drifting aimlessly in the water, carried wherever the current takes it. But when you have purpose, you become the captain of your ship. You chart your own course, and no storm can stop you. Think about the lives of Rosa Parks and Mahatma Gandhi. These individuals were not just fighting for their own freedom or happiness. They had a purpose that transcended their own personal desires. Rosa Parks sat down on that bus not because she was tired, but because she knew that her action could spark a movement that would change the course of history. Gandhi did not endure imprisonment and hardship for his own benefit. He fought for the freedom and dignity of millions, driven by a purpose that was larger than himself. You see, purpose is not just about you. It's about the impact you want to have on the world, the people you want to help, the legacy you want to leave behind. It's the fuel that keeps the fire of your ambition burning, even when the going gets tough. If you don't know your purpose yet, that's okay. Many people spend their entire lives searching for it. But here's the thing. You don't find your purpose by waiting for a moment of inspiration to strike. You find your purpose through action. It emerges through the things that excite you, that make you feel alive, and that give you energy. It grows through the experiences you have, the people you meet, and the challenges you face. Purpose isn't something you find. It's something you create. You create it by living intentionally, by making decisions that align with your deepest values and beliefs. It's about crafting a life that reflects who you truly are, not who the world wants you to be. Once you have a sense of purpose, the next essential element to embracing your transformation is courageous persistence. Persistence is more than just working hard. It's about pushing through the times when you feel like giving up, when the odds seem stacked against you, and when every step forward feels like a struggle. Persistence is the quiet, unwavering determination to keep going when everything inside of you says quit. Think about Thomas Edison, whose perseverance led to the invention of the electric light bulb. He didn't succeed after the first attempt, the 5th attempt, or even the 100th attempt. Edison tried over 1,000 different materials before finding the right one for the filament. Most people would have given up long before that, but Edison was fueled by an unshakable belief that success was possible. He didn't just persist, he relentlessly pursued his goal until he achieved it. Your dreams will never become a reality without persistence. The road to success is paved with challenges, setbacks, and failures. But it's not those failures that define you. It's how you respond to them. When you encounter failure, you have two choices. You can either see it as a sign to quit, or you can view it as an opportunity to learn, grow, and get better. The most successful people are not the ones who never fail. They are the ones who fail, learn from their failures, and keep moving forward. Persistence requires that you take daily action, even when the results don't come immediately. Success is built on consistent effort, not instant gratification. It's the slow, steady accumulation of small steps taken over time that eventually leads to massive results. But persistence is only effective when it's combined with self-belief. Self-belief is the foundation upon which all of your success is built. Without it, no amount of hard work, effort, or persistence will matter. You must believe that you are worthy of success, that you are capable of achieving your goals, and that you can create the life you desire. Elon Musk is a prime example of someone who has achieved extraordinary things because of his unshakable belief in himself and his vision. Musk has faced countless failures, setbacks, and even ridicule throughout his career. But his belief in his mission to revolutionize space travel and electric vehicles has never wavered. He believes, without a shadow of a doubt, that he can change the world, and that belief has propelled him to create some of the most innovative companies of our time. When you have self-belief, obstacles don't seem as daunting. You view them as temporary setbacks, not insurmountable barriers. You have the confidence to take risks, to venture into the unknown, and to keep moving forward, even when the road ahead seems uncertain. The final principle in your transformation is the realization that you are always evolving. You are not static. You are not the same person today that you were yesterday, and you will not be the same person tomorrow that you are today. Your journey of growth and development will never end. Even when you achieve your goals, there will always be a new level to reach, a new challenge to conquer, and a new version of yourself to become. Think about the way Michael Jordan approached his career. He didn't just rely on his natural talent. He constantly sought ways to improve, to refine his skills, and to push the limits of what he could achieve. Even when he became one of the greatest basketball players of all time, he never stopped learning, never stopped growing. He understood that greatness isn't a destination, it's a continuous journey. As you build the new you, embrace the idea that growth is infinite. There is no finish line. There are no limits to how far you can go. The more you push yourself, the more you realize that there's always another level waiting for you. And the more you embrace this mindset, the more powerful your transformation will be. With each step you take, you're becoming a better version of yourself. And as you continue to evolve, you'll look back and realize that the person you were yesterday is a distant memory, one that has been left behind in favor of the amazing person you are today. This is the culmination of your transformation, the new you. You've let go of the old, embraced new principles, and tapped into your boundless potential. You've faced your fears, pushed past your limitations, and taken full ownership of your life. Now you're ready to take on the world with purpose, courage, persistence, and belief. Ready to create the life you desire and leave a legacy that will inspire future generations. Your journey doesn't end here. It has just begun. The new you is unstoppable.